Welcome back to Rewatchers Council, everyone. Buffy, the Vampire Slayer edition. And oh boy, we got an episode for you today. Spoiler alert, Brendan, one of my favorites. I love this episode.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Speaking of Brendan, I guess I should introduce the one and only Councilman in good standing, Brendan Moore. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah. Well, let's go back. All the way back to its original air date, Brendan, April 4th of 2000.
Oh my.
They took the entire month of March off. I have no idea why. I have no idea why. Because it was the WB, and I guess they just did weird things like that. If you remember right, they usually took a month off every season, it seems. So, this one, written and directed by Jonathan Levinson, it turns out.
Ah.
Oh, I guess this is on the shows, Jonathan Levinson. No, this time, Jane Espenson, like Jonathan's biggest fan, Jane Espenson wrote it. David Grossman, the director. So they got some, they didn't send in a couple rookies for this one. They sent in some heavyweights behind the scenes. Now, the number one movie this week, Brendan. Aaron Brockovich was the number one movie.
Oh my.
The film that finally got Julia Roberts her Academy Award. Number one song in your United States of America, well, I'm sure it was one of your favorites. Say My Name by Destiny's Child.
Oh my gosh.
They've
Not that song.
Gone to number one. Say My Name. Say My Name. Number one song in the UK. I was playing it just before we started. I don't think I'll ever listen to it again. It's called Never Be the Same Again by former Spice Girl Mel C, with the late Lisa Left Eye Lopez. R.I.P. to Left Eye. I love TLC. I still do, I guess. And the number one song in Canada, an absolute abomination, Brennan. It's the most horrifying thing about this particular episode. American Pie's Madonna's version. Madonna's version of American Pie. Oh my god. I can't remember the name of that movie she did this one for, but if there's one of the times you'd rather watch a Madonna movie than listen to the song. Now that's harsh. My second least favorite movie of all time, Madonna. Who's that girl? Terrible. I hate it so much. All right. You ready for the DVD synopsis? Well, it's too late. I'm doing it. Buffy suspects reality has somehow been altered after an unpopular former Sunnydale high school student named Jonathan becomes the coolest and most popular person in town.
Yes, something is up.
Yeah, it was like that. It took, I don't know if she really suspected reality had been altered for quite some time, but yes, essentially that's the deal. I like the cold open's going to start. We got the Scoobies. Anya actually fighting alongside the Scoobies, which is
finally
rare at this point. We see them in the graveyard. See, maybe Buffy being a little bit sloppy, and then a little bit clumsy. She gets a stake thrown at her by Xander. She grabs it awkwardly. The guy kind of runs into the stake to take her out.
Yes, not the greatest move ever.
No, you know what? She's done better.
She's done better. Yes,
she's done better. Now they have one of them run off. They decide they're going to go chase after it. And then they find this one with another 4 of his friends, of his bloodthirsty friends, enjoying a late night snack. Turns out this is going to just be too much for them.
It's a family dinner.
Yes, sometimes you just don't interrupt. You know what I mean? I like how Willow does call it an orgy of. She doesn't care if it's an orgy of death. There's such a thing as a napkin, Brendan. They're messy eaters.
Yeah, I don't think vampires care much about that.
Yeah. Uh, Buffy, all vampires are just too much for them. You know, so they have someone they can go to at a time like this. You see them walk up to a great big mansion. Yes, says to the person, the chair spun around or whatever behind. That's the chair's back to them. Says we got a problem here. Chair was one of those James Bondish guitar
Very
strums.
Doctor Evil kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, he turns out and says, "Sounds like you can use my help." It's Jonathan Levinson, young Jonathan Levinson.
Ah, Jonathan.
Yeah, and even get the horns afterwards too, like it's James Bond. Loved it. Then we got a rare mid-season credit change. We got a little bit of a change. Just the text changed
Ah, yes.
for which one? I think the one last week with Faith and or sorry, the week before with Faith and Buffy saying that Eliza Dushku was Buffy, but this time actual things put in. This is something that didn't happen often because it's expensive. They have to keep reminding it's expensive to do these things, but I guess they had a little extra money in season 4, so they put Jonathan in a couple extra scenes and stuff like that. My favorite part is when he does the head shake with the smile, the cheesy smile. That's my favorite part of it. And then, of
Ah,
course,
yes.
at the end, it's Jonathan with a hero walk, a la Angel, maybe, with the black trench coat and stuff like that.
Yes.
Very fun. I enjoyed it a
Yes.
lot. So the next part starts over at Giles's. We see Xander practicing his stake draw. He do a little quick drawing with his snake. He's thanking Jonathan for the help.
Couple
You
of
know,
cheesy one-liners.
yeah, Buffy's gonna ask some stuff from Jonathan here. She's gonna laugh at his cheesy puppy joke, then does the challenge her to hit him and stuff like that. But he's easily gonna thwart her. He's Jonathan. She's just a slayer. Tells her to watch out for southpaws, which is a good advice. That's good life advice. No one ever thinks about the lefties. Giles is going to discover they were just regular Vans, and thankfully, not prophecy delivering ones like there's been so many of. Uh, when Jonathan talks to Giles, he calls him Rupert. I don't know why. I just find that off-putting that any of
Yeah,
the
even though
kids
that's
calling him
his
Rupert.
name, it just doesn't fit.
Yeah. Uh, Willow's going to show him some crypt schematics online. Why would they have crypt schematics online? What were these crypts made? I guess there's a lot of crypts, and they're springing them
Yeah.
all the time. But I don't. I just don't understand. Okay, this is in a world where Jonathan is the greatest, and I'm here confused and bitching about crypt schematics being online. Sometimes what's the rule of this show? Sometimes you just have to let it go. Just let things go. All right, whatever.
Yep.
Uh, Buffy comes out with a plan to lure them out with a decoy, but luckily for her, Jonathan is also incredibly gifted at the keyboard. Does a little finger tapping. He found a different way in to this thing. Willow's gonna act like a big fan of Jonathan at this point. Buffy looks a little disheartened. Poor Buffy. She didn't get her plan again, so seemingly again. Now, it's going to put Giles in check in the middle of this as well. It's just
Hmm.
everything seems to be coming up Jonathan so far. He says he's going to put the Vamps, be the surprise guest for the Vamps in this plan. They're going to send the Scoobies and Buffy in, and he's going to drop down through the skylight, crossbows in hand. He's going to hit a couple. He's going to hit one crossbow, and Buffy's going to get one or two with a crossbow. One's about to take off through the door, but it's Jonathan. And he's got another crossbow for this fella. That's him again. He gives Buffy a little pep talk here about she's doing all right. He reminds her that she got two of them, which is a pretty big deal. They're gonna leave this thing, and there's paparazzi there for some reason. I guess somebody notified him that Jonathan is going to be taking out vampires. This is in a world, I guess, where not only Jonathan is the the top dog. You also know he likes to kill and have vampires exist for some reason. Also existing, Spike. Jonathan didn't even have to see him to know he was there
Uh-huh.
because you know, Buffy's gonna make fun of his impotence here. Blood sucking wise. Jonathan warns her he's still dangerous. Spike's gonna call her Betty. She doesn't. She doesn't say anything about it. Jonathan warns him as soon as he's back to normal, he's gonna make instant soup mix out of him, which I thought was a good line that hasn't been used before.
Mm.
Like a French onion soup mix. Now we get to see Willow with Tara, which is nice. He's giving her the rundown of everything that was happening there. Tara's asking how Buffy was following the whole Faith ordeal. Willow tells her she's still not over Riley sleeping with Faith. Tara says hopes they're going to be okay. Willow, sure they will. Meanwhile, this entire time, they've been gluing pictures of Jonathan together on the wall as some kind of, I don't know if it's an altar, maybe just a collage, I guess.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, yes, I would say surprising as well. We got over to Riley's place. He's throwing basketballs in that little hoop or whatever he has there. Picture of Jonathan playing basketball on his bedroom door, which has to say something. We're going to see in a little bit when the initiative comes by and you have the colonel there, just how tiny Jonathan is. But
Yes.
yes, to imagine him as a basketball star would be something. Riley's when he is shooting all these hoops, doing it without a shirt. Buffy is within wearing like a coat. And I thought it was a sweater at first, but I think it's just a coat. No, he's just talking about how he's given up initiative food. Doesn't know if it's going to make him smarter or dumber or weaker. And he says they still haven't said anything about Adam, haven't released any files yet. He says if they twist him, he'll just get the job. If they trust him, he's going to get the job done. That's what he does. She says she's felt like that her whole life. I don't know if she's felt like that her whole life. Maybe since she's been 15, she's felt like that. Yeah, he's gonna sit next to her, but she's immediately gonna get up. She's gonna try sinking a basket. She misses terribly. He gets up to give her pointers, creepy golf instructor style. But she's obviously still uncomfortable with him being so close to her. And she's just going to leave. She's like, guys, I've had enough. I'm out. Now she's going to see Jonathan and talk about it at the coffee shop or whatever downtown.
Mm.
She's making a coffee for Jonathan. Did you notice how much sugar she puts in that thing?
Oh my word, yes.
Like 5 seconds. Like she keeps dumping it. Oh my god. And he's taking it. It's fine. Oh my god. Okay, whatever. Now she's at the point where she's going to blame Faith for everything. I don't think she's wrong to blame Faith for everything. To tell you the truth. He says she's angry with Riley, not Faith. She's going to do a little. Hey, wait a minute. Now he's going to be signing autographs while he does all this. Tells her if there's any part that wants to blame him, there should be a part that needs to forgive him. Brennan, which is a nice thing.
Yeah, good advice. Yeah, uh-huh.
There's one thing about Jonathan in this one. He's a pretty good guy. Like he
overall,
isn't.
yeah.
He may have made everything about him, but he wasn't super egotistical about it, I don't think. I think he was still trying to be helpful. Well, he says it at the end, but we'll get to that part. Now, he comes over a girl named Karen with a K. Comes over to get her autograph for his book, Oh, Jonathan, by the way. How else would you spell Karen if it didn't have a K?
Well, depends on what state you're from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people like say in Utah, very interesting spellings.
Oh, I was thinking maybe they did it with like a Q without the U or whatever. Maybe that's how they did it.
I'm sure somebody has done it.
Ugh, whatever. Anyways, Buffy's going to admit to blaming Riley asks how she's supposed to get past it. He says it won't be easy. Says they're very special together, though, and worth all that hard work, Brennan. And she asks how to make it again. He says, if you really want it, you can make it happen, for goodness sakes. See, he would know. If he really wanted things to happen, there's just probably a spell book that could have done it. But someone else also going to get in trouble for that in season 6. So we'll just hold off on talking about that for now. Then,
Mm-hmm.
while he's saying this to her, of course, he's also standing outside a building that has a huge billboard of him with his own sneaker, with his sneaker line. Nothing else on it, a purple wall or whatever it is, or a blue wall, and his sneaker poster, which is crazy. And then, we're going to get a scene at the initiative. This is the one I had mentioned before or whatever. This temporary leader that they have that, uh, you're never going to see again, Colonel Havland.
Yep.
Uh, he's going to quickly see control of this meeting to their special agent here, Jonathan. Jonathan has a little piece of everything in this one. And yeah, I just love the scene when he walks up and he's just so small to the colonel and stuff like that. And everyone's like, it's about time. I think it's Graham says it's about time they finally brought in the big guns. So, Jonathan is going to raise a good point here. One thing he's noticed about Adam this whole time, he doesn't eat. So they has to have some way of getting power. And then they notice they brings out all the old schematics from Professor Walsh. Uh, he has a non-physical power source hidden, and he's pointing just at the spine. So I don't know if it.
Okay.
I just don't know if that meant like
Yeah.
his spinal cord is full of.
The
Yeah,
general area.
yeah. This is a small reservoir of uranium 235 that can
Mm.
conceivably last forever. And the only way to completely to get rid of him is complete annihilation,
Mm.
which is something maybe they should put a little bookmark in. Thanks to Jonathan. Anyways, they need to go find him first, though. And we're gonna cut over to Jonathan's house. We see Karen again, for some reason now stalking Jonathan, but she's going to get attacked by a monster here. She fights it off. Now, we're gonna go into this monster here right now and cut ahead a little bit. This monster, this Jonathan is supposed to be, the best of everything, right? He's the best of everything. So you think the monster should be the worst of the worst, the scariest, the most dangerous. This monster never wins a fight. Didn't win a fight against
Nope.
Karen. Karen escapes.
Never did. Not even against Tara.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Tara. Tara escapes. Now Tara gets pretty afraid afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
but she still survives the fight quite easily. And also about that, you'd think should be better protection in that dorm than what they get. That's the second time
Yeah,
something like
that's
this has
true.
happened with the gentleman first. Maybe the gentleman a little tougher than this guy, and
And you
also
got a bunch of commandos running around in the
you got the
dorm.
commandos. What's happening here? Ridiculous. Also, I don't know if you noticed about this monster and stuff like that, but they made the arms really long, so they're just kind of flopping around and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, I
yeah.
thought it's almost a Doctor Who level
Cartoonish.
monster. It's pretty funny.
Very
Anyways,
Star Trek the original series kind of creature.
ooh, okay, yes, I like that. So you can get the mouth moving. Now, uh, we see Jonathan advising Riley that he and Buffy should both be ready to forgive each other. I don't know what Riley has to forgive Buffy for, maybe for being mad at him for
Hmm.
whatever reason. I guess he tells Riley that she's scared that Riley would think about the time with Faith instead of her, considering how inexperienced she is. Well,
Yeah.
she wanted to be more experienced. Wait till after next week, guys. Oh my gosh. And anyways, Riley's gonna get
Oh,
upset.
yeah.
Wonders why she thinks he'd be comparing them at all. That she's the only one that he cares about, and all this stuff. Riley's at this point pretty truthful guy. So yeah, you buy everything he says. Jonathan asks if he's told her that. Uh, you know what? Jonathan would have been the best daytime talk show host. He could have been like a very good Maury. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh
Instead, he
yeah.
does all this other stuff, like basketball. Riley questions if he did actually tell her that. Jonathan says people can often see what's right in front of them as he's blindfolding himself about to William Tell a couple apples off of some soldiers' heads with a pistol.
Yes.
I'd rather take the arrow, to be fair. Now, I don't know how much you remember of the late '90s, Brennan.
Oh yeah.
I frigging hated that whole swing music phase that went through. I hated it. I hated it. And when I saw it come up in this, my blood curdled. Like, oh, like those Zoot Suit Riot guys. And was it Mighty Mighty Boss Tones?
Yes.
Brian Setzer Orchestra? Ridiculous. Well, we're going to have one here at the Bronze, of course, some band called Royal Crown is going to be playing. Xander is going to be complaining that Anya was moaning Jonathan's name last night. I really liked that scene here between the two of them. Buffy's going to put a 50 on Anya taking Xander if it ever got physical. I think we all would, to tell you the truth. Riley wonders if they're actually going to make it. And then a pretty strange look that Buffy gives Riley here. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you think just them, pal? Like, oh my god. Then, surprise guest, Jonathan. He's going to take the mic here. He's going to dedicate a song to a special couple going through some hard times. Brendan. He's going to sing Serenade in Blue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old standard to them. So this song is actually sung by Brad Kane, and it's just being dubbed
Yes,
over
the
here.
singing voice of Aladdin.
Aladdin, and also Tucker from the prom.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. We'll also get to know Tucker's brother in a couple seasons here as well. But yeah, we get to see Riley and Buffy dancing. She puts her head on his shoulder. Jonathan's just going to make everything all right. For goodness sakes. He said it's a start. So, speaking of a start, Jonathan also starts blasting away on a trumpet. I guess,
I guess he's good at that too.
yeah, I guess it was shown by an actual family member or whatever how to you should be properly fingering the trumpet bit. Like Danny Strong actually went figured out how to do it. And he isn't playing the trumpet or whatever. Tara and Willow are excited. He's playing something off the new album. Now, Anya and Xander are quite excited for a different reason. You know what I mean? They are immediately leaving to have sex as soon as he starts doing this thing. Then we're going to see poor old Karen run in. Jonathan stops everything, bring her back to his place. She describes the monster that attacks her, and then describes a mark it had on its forehead.
Mm.
I love the little lip quiver Jonathan has and says, it's nothing. It's just a run of the mill monster, not even really a demon. It usually doesn't come close to populated areas.
Yep.
Buffy's going to say, well, it did this time. Jonathan's going to assure them, though, it's probably more afraid of them than we are of it. So he says she's going to patrol alone tonight. Buffy is puzzled by this. Buffy says, this doesn't make any sense. So we're going to see Adam and his forced appearance in this episode. I think this one's here just to remind people that they have a big bad
Yep.
in this season for what it's worth. We see him with some new acolyte telling there's a dead body on the floor. The vamp guy saying it's starting to smell. Uh, he wants to get rid of it. Adam says, you don't want to drink this one. Had a terminal blood disease. It would have been dead in a month or two or whatever it is. Says that he's the only one that's ever been this alive and this in tune with all of the microbes of his body and outside his body and whatever. Then the monster gets brought up here, and Jonathan is talked about by the guy, the vampire. Uh, that's when Adam starts talking about how it's a lie. This isn't. This is all a
Mm,
dream. He's he says it's intriguing but wrong. This is everyone's under a spell except for him, of course. Now he calls everyone else shadows, but since this magic's unstable, it will lead to chaos, which he is interested. Does this magic actually lead to chaos? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think people, like, at the end of this, everyone seems kind of, he says that, people are mad or whatever, but I don't think people are even all that mad. I think they're just, maybe they're more disappointed that Jonathan isn't really Jonathan. Well, whatever it is. Anyways, we're going to go back to the house. Jonathan's going to start a fire. He has a couple of Nordic twins with him.
Yes.
Yeah, some overnight friends. I'm sure they're gonna just have a slumber party and stuff like that. He says he's gonna be right there. He doffs his robe. He's got that same mark. They say tattooed later on his shoulder. It looks like a branding. Looks like he got branded with that mark, for God's sakes. So
Yes.
we see Buffy, Willow, and Tara walking around campus. Tara thinks that Buffy and Willow will be taking off to fight this bad monster thing, but Buffy says, no, no, no. Jonathan says he's got it, so don't even worry about it. She tells him that he seems scared, though, which Willow doesn't believe, and says that Buffy even said he doesn't get scared when she gave him the class protector award at prom, which is sacrilegious, if you ask me.
Yes.
Terrible. Terrible. Tara's going to turn to leave. See, Willow will hold her hand here for a quick second. Little tiny bit of PDA here, maybe something that they haven't really done before. Now, Will's going to ask Buffy about her dance with Riley. She said it was great. Like there was no one else there but them, which is always a ridiculous thing to say. Tara gets back to her dorm, gets attacked. This is when she gets attacked by that monster. So then she's gonna say a spell. I don't know if that's supposed to be just smoke that comes out of her shirt, like she's Spider-Man, but like smoke or something like that. But
Yeah.
it works. It works. And that monster's just hitting the wall for some reason with its weird arms. But she escapes. And then this is when we see Willow. Willow's called Buffy over, and Tara wrapped up in a ball of just afraid. She's so afraid of whatever. Tara's going to describe it. Describes the mark again. Willow's puzzled because Jonathan said they were safe. And we see Buffy walking around. A nice little shot just for walking in front of all those posters of Jonathan.com with the suit. Incredibly, I don't know if I think anything is more cheesy than when someone's just doing this like they're deep in thought.
Mm-hmm.
The worst. The worst. Now, of course, she heads over to Xander's place to check out some of his Jonathan stuff. He's not there. Anya's there, though, pretending to be cordial, I guess is a nice thing to say about it. Notices his comics and trading cards while Anya reads his book, that old Jonathan book. You just don't want to put it down, I guess. She asks if it's strange that Jonathan's good at everything. Just told with a shrug. Yeah, it's Jonathan. Good answer. We find out that he also invented the internet, Brennan. And then he thinks that,
Apparently he did, yes.
yeah, she's just looking for validation when she says that she's the real Slayer, but he fights better. She says he seems too perfect. I know. I know how he feels. You know what I mean? Anyways, she's going to ask Anya about the wishes she used to grant when she was a vengeance demon. Asked if someone could wish for the whole world to be different. Then we get into Anya talking about shrimp. You can have a world
Mm,
full of shrimp, a world with no shrimp, and then we get a world where there could be Jonathan is just a common mouth breather, but she doesn't want
Uh,
to. She doesn't want to live in that world, though. Who would? It's ridiculous. Go back.
yes.
Yeah, we go back to Giles's, and now she's getting it. How did he star in the Matrix? This is what it all comes down to. How did he Doogie Howser himself? This guy's a doctor before he was 18 years old. Goodness
Yes.
sakes. Xander has maybe the best answer for this: effective time management. But I can tell you one thing right now, Brennan. There's no such thing as time management, only personal management. What do you think about that?
Apparently.
Oh my God. Anyways, uh, Giles once again doesn't understand what she's saying. Everybody is also stunned to find out that Buffy is leading this meeting. So rare,
Mm,
you know. They were wondering when Jonathan would show up so that the meeting could actually start. She's asked if anyone's ever thought that he was too perfect. Xander's not having it. There's no way. He crushed the master's bones. He blew up the snake mayor. Also, Brennan, importantly, he won the World Cup coaching the ladies' soccer team. So there you go.
apparently he did, yes.
Yeah, congratulations to him and that crew. Really put the Women's World Cup on the map. You know what I mean? If I remember correctly. Now, Buffy isn't trusting her memories, though. She says she's trying to do something. Giles says she may be out of her depth as he eats a large slice of bread. Did you see the size of the piece of bread he's eating? I didn't know if it was like supposed to be banana bread or something, but it was like that thick.
Yes.
It's like a sandwich almost, just with bread, like butter on top. Ridiculous. She says she isn't out of her depth. Then Riley finally has her back and suggests for once they follow her lead.
Mm,
She says that Jonathan's been ignoring evidence that let Tara get hurt, not on purpose. She tells he blinked about the mark. And Xander once again is gonna gaslight her. I don't know if we can have an episode of Buffy where someone doesn't trust something she's saying for some reason.
yep.
She knows, he knows, she knows, he knows something about it. Says she remembers something. Asks Giles if he has Jonathan's swimsuit calendar.
Ay, ay,
This
ay.
is Giles says no. Yes, it was a gift. Everyone
I
wants
don't
to
even
give.
want to think about that. Ugh.
Well, lucky thing he had it. So they flip over a few months, I guess, and then voila, there it is, a little back shot. Jonathan's turning over the shoulder, and there's the mark, plain as day, just as Jonathan shows up. And Anya's immediately gonna rat out Buffy for this. She's gonna play. She just doesn't understand why he said the mark meant nothing.
Ah, yes.
Now, Jonathan says, Buffy's right. Xander absolutely can't believe it. He says that he does have a history with it. I like his explanation. His explanation might also be in his mind the truth. This is what I keep thinking. Maybe in his mind he thinks this is the truth. Anyways, he says when he gets near it, he becomes confused. That's why that mark is on him, so he wouldn't understand it, underestimate it again. Everyone understands except for Buffy, who wants to go find and kill it with him. And he kind of just reluctantly agrees to do this. Once again, run into Spike on their way to do this. Same deal as before.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, Jonathan's going to press him, or this time, Buffy's going to press him for info, or Jonathan's going to press him for info. Spike says he hasn't seen it. Says he could be lying though, and this is where Buffy says had it. And she says, yeah, no. She wants to know what's up. What do you know? Spike says that she's not supposed to do this. She threatens his butcher blood supply, which is pretty smart. Buffy's becoming more Buffy-ish every passing moment here. He then gives up a cave where this thing could be at. Jonathan just tells her that was good, very good. So he seems suspicious. Oh,
Interesting.
this is very suspicious. We get Riley. with what could be his first look at spells, maybe. It's fun that he wonders if he can really turn a man inside out, with Willow being right there. Again, let's wait for season 6. Riley. Now, uh, she says spells work with concentration and being in tune with the universe. Then we have
Sounds very
Xander.
Jedi-ish.
Yeah, maybe, but I think the least Jedi-ish guy here is Xander, and all he
Yes,
says,
yes.
Liberum Incendere, and his book starts on fire. So really, all you have to do is say Latin in front of the books, and that's why Giles gives him shit for saying
Yeah,
Latin.
what does he say? Like Libro and
Yeah,
something.
Liberum Incendere,
Yes,
book
probably a dangerous thing to say.
book on fire, I believe is what that would mean. And Will's gonna
At
find
least he
that.
didn't say pants on fire.
That's true. He could have said like pantaloons Incendere. Now, just like a liar, just like a liar. You know what I mean? That's the thing. That's how you tell which is a liar around there. Now,
Hmm.
Willow's going to find that mark and discovers that Jonathan did an augmentation spell that turned him into a paragon, the best of everything.
I
And
mean,
then,
let's be clear. I think all of us would like to insert ourselves in this story.
as Jonathan,
Though I don't think I'd want to live in a world full of demons and vampires.
there's very few of them, it seems. There was just one that's seen on this entire thing.
But
Maybe, well, there's ones at the beginning, I guess you're right.
most of the shows and movies that we like to imagine ourselves living in that world.
Yeah,
Maybe not to the extent that Jonathan wishes it.
no. And I think Jonathan may have done it for different reasons. So we're,
Yes,
we're
that's
gonna
true.
we're gonna find that out
That's
in a
true.
little bit. Yeah. So yes, we have Jonathan. He's made himself the paragon here and the best of everything. But
Mm.
skipped over the part where there's this monster that's also created, which is supposed to be the worst of everything. Xander says that he did a spell to make himself cool, which is so cool. Riley is worried about Buffy and Jonathan going after this thing. Giles says if it dies, then the spell's broken. And Anya warns Jonathan won't want Buffy to succeed. So, oh boy, here we go. We get to the cave. Buffy and Jonathan are going to find a deep, dark pit. Ooh, well,
No,
I guess when
nothing,
you're
nothing ominous about that.
no, and I guess when you're on a Hellmouth, once in a while, you're gonna get these bottomless pits in places. It's just a hazard of living there. I guess
Mm-hmm.
another one. Anyways, we get a swerve here that Jonathan may want to be putting Buffy inside the pit, but he actually grabs her and pulls her away from the pit. So I like that little swerve there where he isn't, in it for himself, it seems. Now, we get the monster attacking them from here. We see Willow and Anya both confused that Buffy's being right. The Scoobies discuss how the world's going to change without Jonathan at the head.
Yeah.
Giles says it should be nearly the same. No, it shouldn't be all that different. Jonathan just won't be Jonathan as they know him. This is just too much for Xander, who roots for Buffy to fail. For God,
Oh.
just not get killed. He doesn't want her to get killed.
Oh
He just,
my.
he just wants Jonathan to win. Willow asks Giles if she can do it. He's unsure about it, and she's never fought something like this alone. She does hold her own against it, though. Jonathan's going to get up, do some damage, inform her that she's going to need to do this solo, as every time he harms this thing, as this thing gets hurt, he suddenly reverts back to his old cowardly self. And so he starts hiding behind the stalactite. I think stalactite is the one that comes from the ground, right? I believe so.
Mm.
Now, Buffy's starting to get the feel for everything again and starts thoroughly kicking this thing's ass until she trips. Here comes the monster moving in for the kill. But Jonathan's going to suck up his last bit of bravery and tackle this thing into the pit, luckily being grabbed by the ankle by Buffy
Mm-hmm.
uh, just before we're going to get a flash of light. Now, when there's a flash of light on Buffy, everything's either going to turn or turn back. So everything's returning
Yep.
back to normal. Posters getting returned back to normal. There's a poster downtown that gets reverted back to a "Dingoes Ate My Baby" poster,
Mm.
which left me questioning a couple of things. One, were they just still up from months and months ago? Or B,
Mm.
did the Dingoes return just with a new guitar player?
Uh-huh.
Could be either, I guess. So they're all gonna gather in a park later and discuss what was happening. Anya says that alternate realities are neat. She should know, thanks to what you do with Cordy. They all have different feelings on the experience. Riley with the swimsuit calendar. No, he doesn't want to think about that again. Xander felt better about himself, he says, as a man. He also appreciated his clothes. He thought that Jonathan always looked cool. Then Buffy's going to see him standing nearby. This is why I said I don't think people got too angry at Jonathan because he was there in broad daylight, and maybe it's just part of the spell where people forget really quick. It's like they got Sunnydale disease again, stuff like that. So he's gonna go. She's gonna go up to go talk to him. He tells her that most people are forgetting, but some are still pretty angry. The twins moved out, he says.
Mm.
So either A, how did he have a mansion? Or B, was that just like his parents' house or something like that? And then as the white flash or whatever, it goes from mansion to his parents' house. Maybe either one. So he tells her that while doing counseling after the clock tower incident in earshot, a guy there had a spell. Just didn't mention that monster. Kind of brushed past the whole monster bit. So he came to apologize to her, though. She tells him that people for making them part of his little sock puppet theater. This is when he says this whole thing or whatever. I don't think it was about him being great. He says they weren't socks; they were friends. Brennan,
Indeed.
you know, Jonathan needs friends. Kind of heartbreaking. Anyways, she tells him that big gestures aren't going to do it. Things are complicated, and that time they need time and work. He says, "Yeah." Then as she remembers about the advice she gave her about Riley, says that although he doesn't remember about things needing work is true, and that
Mm.
her and Riley are special or complicated, but worth it. Then he's going to walk off. It ends with her and Riley smooching in his room and her calling him Jonathan. What a hilarious joke to end the
Yes.
thing. So, unfortunately, we don't get to see Jonathan again for a little while. He isn't in season 5 at all. But, good news. Jonathan does end up getting friends, and we're going to meet them all the way in season 6.
Well, is
For
it good
so,
news? Mhm.
well, we'll find out. We will find out. Well, he's got friends, which is always nice, isn't it? Anyways, next episodes. This is what I said. If you were worrying if Buffy and Riley ever forgive each other, the next episode they really, really, really forgive each other, guys.
Yeah, that episode. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Where the Wild Things Are is the next episode for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it was so much fun talking about Superstar again, especially talking about Superstar with Brennan Moore. Buddy, tell everybody what you're up to on the good old internets.
You can find me on Blue Sky, renmar.bluesky.social.
Hmm.
You can find me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Page Turners They Were Not.
Awesome. Guys, we're going to be back Friday in prime time. Rewatchers Council Angel Edition.
Yes.
Uh, yes. Boy, oh boy. If you thought Superstar was good, if you thought Superstar was great, just wait because Eternity is an episode of Angel
Hmm.
that chronologically comes next. So we'll be talking about that on Friday or wherever you listen to. Watch your Rewatchers Council programs. This weekend, Danny and I will be talking on LGRN After Snark about the new Fantastic Four movie, which should be a lot of fun. Tuesday, over on the old sports channel, my good friends, Better Rivals.
Mm.
got Starting 11 back with its season preview for the English Premier season. You know that Chelsea's the world champions right now, Brennan?
Yeah, indeed.
The reigning defending champions of the world, Chelsea, and then 19 other teams. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh,
Two,
yes.
two of which are friends Adelia and Ferris, who will be joining us, cheer for in Arsenal. And so we'll get to, I'm sure, a lot of Arsenal talk as well. We'll bring up, there's been so much news. There's been an incredible amount of traffic going throughout the transfer window. So lots to talk about come Tuesday. I can't wait to talk about that. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week, this time. In the words of Jonathan Levinson, thank everybody. Ask them to all have a good night.